Chapter 1: The Fall. The last thing Captain Elias Varro remembered was fire. His gunship, the Iron Tempest, had been torn apart over the war-torn skies of Cayley's 9. A plasma torpedo had sheared through the hull, sending him spiraling into the planet's storm-racked atmosphere. He had blacked out before impact. Now, he awoke to the scent of burning herbs and the rhythmic beat of drums. His body was racked with pain. His flight suit had been stripped away, replaced by rough-spun bandages stained with his own blood. The air was thick with smoke and something else, something electric like the hum of an unseen power. And then he saw them. Warrior women clad in leather and bronze, their bodies painted with glowing sigils, danced in a slow, hypnotic circle above him. Their bare feet barely touched the ground, as if they were floating. Their chants were low, guttural, ancient. One of them, taller than the rest, with eyes like molten gold, broke from the circle and knelt beside him. "You live, Starman," she said, her voice like gravel and honey. "The sky spat you out, but the Mother has claimed you." Elias tried to speak, but his throat was raw. His vision swam. The golden-eyed woman pressed a hand to his chest. "You are wounded," she murmured. "But you are chosen." Then darkness took him again. Chapter 2: The Trial. When Elias next woke, he was no longer in the ceremonial chamber. He lay in a cave, the walls carved with strange, pulsating runes. His wounds had been tended to, somehow impossibly. His broken ribs no longer screamed with every breath. The golden-eyed woman sat cross-legged beside him, sharpening a curved blade. "I am Isara," she said without looking up. "War chosen of the Valkyr'a." Elias swallowed. "Captain Elias Varro, Terran Defense Corps." He smirked. "Your titles mean nothing here, Starman. Only your blood matters." He sat up slowly, wincing. "Where am I?" "The Sacred Veil," Isara said. "Where the Mothers chosen are tested." Elias frowned. "Chosen for what?" She stood, sheathing her blade. "To fight. To survive. Or to die." Before he could ask more, the cave trembled. A deep, resonant horn sounded in the distance. Isara's grin turned feral. "The trial begins." Chapter 3: The Dance of Blades. They dragged him into the sunlight. The Valkyr'a, dozens of them, stood in a great stone amphitheater, their spears raised. At the center of the arena stood a beast unlike anything Elias had ever seen. A hulking, six-limbed monstrosity, its hide armored with chitinous plates, its maw dripping venom. "The Kethvor," Isara said. "The Mother's hound. If you survive its bite, you are worthy." Elias had no weapons, no armor, just his wits and the lingering pain in his bones. The beast charged. He barely dodged the first swipe of its claws, rolling aside as the creature roared in frustration. The Valkyr'a chanted, their voices rising in a fevered crescendo. Elias had fought in 100 battles, but this was different. This was primal. He spotted a fallen spear in the dust and lunged for it. The Kethvor struck again. This time its talons grazed his side, drawing blood. He gritted his teeth and drove the spear into the beast's underbelly. It shrieked, thrashing. Then Isara was there, her blade flashing. With a single brutal stroke, she severed the creature's head. Silence fell. And cheers. Isara turned to him, her golden eyes alight. "You fight well, Starman." Elias panted, blood dripping from his wounds. "What now?" She gripped his arm, pulling him close. "Now you become one of us." Chapter 4: The Truth of the Valkyr'a. That night, beneath twin moons, Isara told him the truth. The Valkyr'a were not just warriors. They were the last descendants of an ancient order, sworn to protect Kales. 9 from an even greater threat, the Devourers, a swarm of biomechanical horrors that consumed worlds. The mother speaks in visions, Isara said. She showed us your fall. She said you would be the key. Elias frowned. Key to what? To waking the sleeper. The sleeper, she explained, was an ancient weapon buried beneath the planet's crust, a relic of the old ones, capable of repelling the Devourers. But only a child of the void, a human apparently, could activate it. Elias laughed bitterly. So I'm just a tool to you. Isara's gaze hardened. You are wounded. You are chosen. The mother does not make mistakes. He had no choice. If the Devourers were real, then Earth was next. Chapter 5. The Awakening. The journey to the sleeper's tomb was a nightmare. They fought through caves of living shadow, past creatures that defied logic. Half the Valkyr'a fell. But Elias and Isara pressed on. At last they reached the heart, a vast crystalline chamber. At its center lay a massive sarcophagus, pulsing with blue light. Elias stepped forward. The moment his hand touched the surface, the chamber screamed to life. A voice, neither male nor female, echoed in his skull. Identity confirmed. Terran genetic signature detected. Activation protocol initiated. The ground shook. The Valkyr'a dropped to their knees in awe. And then, the sleeper opened. Chapter 6. The Final Stand. The Devourers came at dawn. Thousands of them, blackening the sky. But the sleeper was ready. Elias stood at the helm of the ancient machine, its weapons humming with unfathomable power. Isara and the remaining Valkyr'a fought at his side, their war cries ringing across the battlefield. The battle was brutal. The Devourers fell by the hundreds, but more kept coming. Direct hit. The sleeper staggered. Elias felt the systems failing. No, he growled. Not like this. With a final desperate command, he triggered the overload. The explosion lit up the sky. Epilogue, The Chosen. When the dust settled, Elias found himself lying in the ruins, Isara's hand gripping his. She was wounded, dying. You did it, Starman, she whispered. He shook his head. We did it. She smiled, her golden eyes dimming. The mother was right. You were worthy. Then she was gone. The surviving Valkyr'a approached, their spears raised in salute. One stepped forward. You are no longer Starman, she said. You are Valkyr'a now. Elias looked up at the sky, where the Devourers had been, where Earth still waited, unknowing. He took Isara's blade in hand. Then let's get to work.